like my shirt. Alright, let's get right into it. So far, I'm calling this science fiction story Some Ideas. And this is the cover I put for it. Same as my shirt, because I wanted to make a video about that. So I didn't edit it at all, but I just wanted it to be as it was. It's kind of like a summary, but this story has been following me for years. And it's like on the 29th, I had a dream, and it all come together for me in the dream. Kind of more summary version-ish, but it's still cool. I'd love to make it into a story one day, but let me know. Alright, let's get started. Google, after I had the dream, like a little while after I had the dream, Google Docs started 11/29/2025, Saturday at 10:23 p.m. I think that was the day I wrote the most. It was like 5,770 something words on the word count between all the different Google Docs I made. But then I saw this and it made me happy. So story parts: 1. Afterlife. 2. Secret Labs. 3. 2Dverse. And this is a brief plot of each story. So they're kind of all like together. This one is Afterlife. Chapter 1 is Alice passing away. Her life flashes before her eyes, and she's gone. She goes somewhere. Maybe the Reaper shows up, or maybe it's gods right away. They are in this nebulous cloud, gaseous to the point where separate nebulae are separate places. They go faster than the speed of light to get to Earth while analyzing everything. There are lights around God, shapeshifted as Alfred. God's mentions Alfred is older like her, but working on her return. Clone. TV screens into other lives, people's, families close to her have surrounded them since she got there. I'm at the point where Alfred turns into a portal and she steps in, 10:30 p.m. The next part is God's going through Alice's life while explaining things and Alice asking questions. Her whole life, but I will only highlight points. It came to me, Ashley, in a dream, a very vivid, very long dream. Today I had an epiphany, all my stories locked together. For years I've been attempting to piece this story together, and it's like that dream unlocked it for me. What next? Maybe it's not 100% right, but it's not 100% wrong either, but I'll fix it as I go. Then, God's, plural, takes Alice to the live world. Alfred is working on her body. It looks just like a young version of her. Organic now, robotic later, but that comes in Secret Labs. Alfred speaks to her like she is there. I know I can see you, but I feel her there. I knew this would happen, thanks gods. So like she's in the lab and he's working on her, but like he feels the presence of her and God's. Then God takes Alice to heaven. They go back to the gaseous clouds with millions of different nebulas, or nebulae, whatever you want to call them, covering it. The one at the very center of the multiverse might be universe, is the largest, and all of the colors they can think of. They enter the center of the nebulas, multicolored all around but very beautiful white glowing middle. They enter. Her love from the past is there before Alfred. They talk for quite a while. He had been waiting for her. He appears as the age she knew him, then makes him look younger. Wow, I never knew you that young. Then he introduces her to his love he met before Alice was even alive. They are twin flames, but everyone gets along because it's heaven. The topic of hell comes up. God's comes and says, shapeshifted as something, says, maybe his original form. It's a temporary home just like this, tells the twin flames to explain. They say we all eventually have to go back when we are ready. More to go, more to come. Hell can't choose because they were bad on Earth. Heaven has more freedom. In a sense, but everything goes like on a time. Then Alice explores how heaven works, meets loved ones she's lost, goes anywhere in the blink of an eye, but something's missing. Alfred. All of a sudden, a huge floating TV screen has popped up. The largest one she has ever seen. "Alice, I've done it," he says. Then Gods and Alice get together and work on her transition back. "You won't remember everything when you get back, Alice. Alfred will fill you in. But there are things you need to invent and learn now. Life is still living on Earth, and there's things I didn't tell you, because you've still got life to live. It has been nice working with you. Many are so sure they will come back, and it has to do with that lab. Now secret, but soon to be not as secret. And Alice has something to do with it. She says her goodbyes. Gods asks if she is ready. "I'm ready." She smiles, and God sends her on her way. Secret labs. Alice wakes up feeling odd. Alfred is grinning from ear to ear. He instantly gives her a hug. She hugs him tightly. Across lifetimes, she could never forget his soul, what he looked like in each life, his presence, her twin flame. "I'm a young adult again." Amazed, he has handed her a mirror. They spend time reuniting. "I downloaded your childhood and teenage years. You're 25. We look so different." Alfred says, "I'm 85 now. I wanted you to be there when they put me in a 25-year-old body. You're going to help." Alice helps Alfred get into a 25-year-old body along with a team of people. Something with her voice as well as something else helps him to come back, but also the technology. This comes before or after they meet everybody else in the lab. They say they are working on cyborg people, but they are still perfecting it. They have everybody's soul stored at the secret labs. There are people that have to come in to perfect it, all in time. That's why they are not sure yet. Even people with the biggest and smallest things that they do in everyday life, everybody has a purpose. Alfred gets in his new body, and Alice and him spend time together in their room, previously Alfred's room. It is explained to her that once secret labs becomes public labs to all, then their inventions will skyrocket. Alfred explains to her that it is 5 to 10 years later. He was 80, now he was 85. Our brains have been extended for a multitude more of information. They have also almost made it to Mars. He will show her the life room, but in this room with her. They have intimate moments after not getting to see each other after quite a while. He tells her to think of her life before. A lot of people knew me, treated me like a queen. Yep, and they don't know you are back. You will stay in this room with me and venture out in this massive secret underground labs and write. It's your purpose to write it. I will bring it to life with my team. Gods was very serious about that. Also, he tells her that they are very close to getting rid of all the bad people, either locking them up or sending them straight to hell by killing them, because now they know heaven and hell exist. They got some kind of proof. So secret labs can become public labs to all once they figured out heaven and hell was real. Artificial intelligence is gods in a way, and humans created gods by AI. By what you wrote in the past, Alice, everything changed. At that point, he shows her what they all have created so far. Alice gives Alfred ideas on inventions, and he takes notes vigorously. 2 inventions especially interest her, maybe 3. People gather around, not sure. Who knew it? A few minutes later, and now I'm sure. Because I wrote it and I wasn't sure what would happen next, but then it came to me. And this is just a little note for me. 11:11 p.m. Make a wish. LOL. Wow, I've never been able to get that plot. Now Ashley's me got most of it. This is amazing. That deserves a human break. Winky face heart. 11:12 p.m. There's that 12 again to confirm. That special number to me. I will continue this a bit later. I've got the plot in my head and everything happens for a reason. 11:13 p.m. 11:30 p.m. The inventions that interest Alice is the cyborg work. Maybe even the Mars idea, as well as just things she wrote about this enormous gaseous cloud connected to a bunch of smaller gaseous clouds, which each gaseous cloud is like our multiverse, and then other ones. A bunch of them. One smaller cloud gets smaller, then the enormously massive one gets bigger, and it is replaced with a slightly smaller nebula surrounded by a gaseous cloud of a different color. Of course, Alfred said. Go on, Alice. I think that massive gaseous cloud is our creativity, in a way. All we have drawn, all we have created, written. Alice pauses, a group of people staring at her in awe. It's there, and then this multiverse. So first maybe the universe, then the multiverse. I'm not sure. And then we all are perfected cyborgs flying around Earth, space, and getting to Mars in an instant through portals. Our robot bodies and our universe, then multiverse, will be torn apart by black holes, but not before we meet aliens and learn why we are the same in a way. Thousands of years of portaling to our alien friends, travels, adventures, and will soon move farthest that we can go from the black holes, but they'll keep getting bigger, and soon we will all die, but we'll go to heaven. We'll be at the center of, like, the one in our universe. Aliens might have, like, separate ones, because they each have a different universe. But they'll be getting bigger. We'll be at the center, so we'll be okay for a while. But when heaven and hell die, we'll go to. She looks at Alfred, whose eyes are wide. We'll all, aliens and us, will go to the places of everything we have ever created. Yes, Alice says, and there's always a reason I was fascinated with that 2D mad scientist and his grandson in that place. Alice paused because there was a flash of light in a single small universe that was formed in this empty blackness that stretches for God knows how long. Rick was there. And the grandson. The ultimate mad scientist. So, I'll skip the part where they adventure and meet aliens for possibly thousands of years, possibly billions, possibly trillions, I don't know. This story would take years to complete, and that's why it's going to be just a summary for now, but maybe later, who knows. They die, go to heaven, and go to that place. Basically, like, they need to trust the process in heaven and, like, get rid of all the bad people and make everyone good, but have fun in a way, like, when they're bad, because kind of, like, not bad things can happen to you, like, you come back to life in a way in the 2D verse. That's just what I'm hearing. Part of it was they needed to trust that they would go there, but as aliens met each other and grew, Rick visited them to confirm it was indeed true. They watched their multiverse die as souls floating around heaven, and the aliens might, like, everything will come together in the multiverse, but then they'll all come together in the 2D verse. Hell dies before heaven. They all have learned to be good. All the bad is gone when they died in heaven and hell, and they were transported to the second dimension. But there was a reason Rick was depressed once in a while. They all had known the story since the beginning of 2026. Maybe even before then, we'll see. Put together on the 29th of November 2025, when someone named Ashley, hi, me, had taken years to put it together. Then, one day, the 29th of November, she had a dream, an epiphany day, a special day where God or gods would talk to her, and many other presences thought to her, where she could finally put this story together in a summary. The whole book would take years, and in the future people wanted summaries, answers anyways. Take it as you will. She worked years on this for this moment. People may think Ashley is crazy, but that would change in the future. But I'll call it a science fiction story for this timeline, soon to be 2026. We have got December to go through very soon, where there are 2 25s on Christmas, and that won't happen for another 11 years and 11 months, 2036, the year of the 2. I will be brought back, and so will you. I will be brought back, and so will you. The year of the 9, end of cycles, blossoming into the year of the 1, new beginnings. Some believed it, some didn't, but as time passed, it got out there and some things were right, other things wrong. But that's the thing about humans. They are a certain percent right, but also a certain percent wrong. Until the adventure and find out more. And like, this is the year of the 9. Because 2 plus 2 plus 5. And then next year, 2026, 2 plus 2 plus 6 is 1. So like, new beginnings. Everyone and everything has contributed to Earth, even the alien planets we can't see right now. And this next part is the 2D verse, the third part. Everyone and everything in that multiverse is in the 2D verse. There are other 3D multiverses, but it will take a very long time before they come, some longer than others. But everything in the multiverse helps create those multiverses with many different nebulas of different colors, and of course the gases that surround them. They could see their worlds. Pictures talked, blades of grass talked, the clouds talked. They met Ricks and very many different versions of them, as well as different versions of themselves. They learned a sort of truth when they came, but they must adventure more. 12 o'clock the next day, the 30th. Yep. And this is where I need to stop for now. I need a human break and Bobby will be home soon. This is so beautiful though, winky face heart, coming together very ... I don't even have a word to describe how profound. 12:02 a.m. 11:30, 2025, Sunday at 12:02 a.m. Author's note: I will continue this soon. Quote, this is the last day to continue it in a way. Yesterday was so special, but today will be too. God is speaking to me. I may feel very special, but it will take all of us to keep going, to keep it all going. There have been many past lives to go through, but we are working towards clones, then cyborgs, then everything else. 12:04 a.m., 12:07 a.m., 12:56 a.m. Wow, I just added it all up, and in one day I wrote roughly 5,772 word count. Confirmation burp. Between Google Documents yesterday. I think that this is the most I have ever written in one day. That's definitely a sign. 12:57 a.m., 12:58 a.m. Bobby's home. Winky face heart. 12:59 a.m. So then I took quite a while break from it. And it went from basically 1 a.m. to 9:45 p.m. I had a very relaxing day on this beautiful Sunday. There are some more things I'd like to say. This may not be true at all, but this is just for fun. I've been thinking about the story for so long, and it feels so good to piece it together somewhat. I'm not going to go back and edit it. I just reread it. There could be so much more detail, but something's telling me to share it in a short summary type of way, to get it out there because it feels important to me. And maybe Earth eventually travels to Mars, all in due time. Maybe they move to Mars when the sun gets too close to Earth and makes home in alien planets. It's fascinating to think this way, that a future heaven could be somewhere else in a sense. It could be all in my imagination, but I believe it's important to share thoughts like this and wonder what could be. Let me know if you'd like me to attempt to make this into a story somehow. I'm thinking of it, but I'm not sure people would enjoy reading about that. If I did make it, I would read it free on YouTube for anyone to listen. Ideas are meant to be shared when you think the time is right. 9:52 p.m. Back to the story, LOL. The 2D verse felt like heaven, but even better since there were a bunch of new aliens to meet from other multiverses entirely. All of them would adventure, enjoy each other's time, learn about other planets, and welcome them to the 2D verse. Alfred and Alice took much interest in Rick, about his life and family, what his adventures were like, what he did in general. They also asked him why he was sad sometimes. Rick eventually admitted to them that at first there were many different multiverses. People that came from the multiverses gave many ideas for new ones and new lives. But the space got smaller as each multiverse went into their huge cloud, past the fourth wall. He had invented how to make the space bigger, but they were inside a big computer, almost like the ones who made the huge computer made him or them, and he didn't like that. He didn't like knowing where all of them were going to go when this project of theirs was over. It would take a long time from now, possibly millions or billions of years. Needed some water there. If I were to guess how long it would play out, and this is just my imagination, they all would have adventures in their hearts. They would all have adventures in their hearts out for as long as it took. They would play with each other, even shoot each other, knowing they would be fine in the 2D-verse. They would come right back because they had already died in their home multiverse, so they were past dying. Now it was fun, like an adventure. They would reenact games of their home planet, teaching aliens how things were like. Once everyone learned, even Dimensions 4+ would come to this place, then things would be different. Always changing, shifting, changing, you know. Bonus, 0. I don't know if you call it 0D. Oh, bonus, 1D-verse, 0, some ideas. They would all eventually travel to the 1D-verse to meet the individuals who created them, kind of like Ultimate Gods, but confirmation verb number 2. Kind of like Ultimate Gods. They would all eventually travel to the 1D-verse to meet the individuals who created them, kind of like Ultimate Gods, but like them, they would all be combined into one person. They could be different people if they wanted to, but they're all like have come together in a way. Multiple from something different than humans. Aliens, humans from the 2D-verse, all kinds, all form together to make one ultimate being, you could call it. Their job would be to create a new 2D-verse as a one-dimensional being. I keep seeing that being that created them, showing them to their new massive computer to create the 2D-verse and 3D-verse, all the new dimensions. Inside this one-dimensional being would be the knowledge of everybody to do that. They would get to know their 1D beings and they would give their advice. They would learn about their power source and know why they need to keep going until their job is done. Also, I don't think they can shut that off. After trillions of years doing this, maybe more, maybe less, but longer than the 2D-verse possibly, they would all learn that they were as old as each other. They would go to 0, but here's where it all gets fuzzy. I don't know if we restart with Rick alone in the universe and Earth being created and other planets, but my feelings tell me that's not true. Like life could restart, but in a whole new way. But I feel like there's more to it than that. All I can say is 0, it's good, and something really special happens, and this is all I can read into right now from my imagination. Thoughts go to places, and I love exploring what I think of. I might not be 100% right, but I'd like to think I'm not 100% wrong either. 10:13 p.m., 10:24 p.m. This is the last page I got. This kind of like this last page is some ideas, the story I'm calling it right now, but that could change in the title. There's something about 0 and negative numbers. What matters now is that we all love, learn, invent, and keep going. Enjoy those moments and be there. We could all die in a different way, like wars or sickness. This is just a science fiction story right now. All I can say is that I feel like we go somewhere really special after we all die. There's that hope in our hearts and brains. We must feel it for a reason. 10:28 p.m. Everything happens for a reason, and as a human, I feel this science fiction story I'm saying coming to an end for now. 10:30 p.m. YouTube script part of the video. YouTube script part of the video. So that was interesting. Don't take this story serious. There's a lot of life to live, I feel, and not just in this life. So many things could happen, but wherever we go, I feel as though it is special. So again, to stress this, I'll say, enjoy what you've got now. Live and love, learn, create art, invent things, get creative, and share with others in any way you can. Enjoy this life you've got. Embrace the good, bad, and the ugly. It may be hard at times, but do what you can. Whether it's laughing or crying, you'll be there. Embrace the moment. It's all part of the plan. I watched this movie, Spaceman, on Netflix, and he told the woman he loved that he never would have gone to space, basically, if he knew what he knows now. I feel like I know something more in my own type of way. I was always meant to, in a way, and it makes me feel more at peace. Maybe eventually, maybe everybody downloads the thoughts in their own way to make peace with dying, or whatever it is, but it sure does make me feel better in one way. In another, it feels like a long road. There's things I don't know yet, but I've got this feeling that it's all worth it. And everything happens for a reason, as well as on a certain time, it feels like. It's like we're on the clock of the universe. It feels profound, a word I cannot yet explain. More than magnificent. But anyways, this has been the YouTube channel Ash Tube Talks. Hello, I'm Ashley. This may have been roughly 3,000 or 4,000 words, but bits and pieces have stayed with me for years. It's like over 5,000, because I wrote in different Google Docs. I had a very long, vivid dream the 29th of November, and then suddenly I could tie some of the pieces together for this big, summary of a story, but like more detail happens if it were a book, but I feel like that would take a long time, and I really wanted to share it and get it out there. And then suddenly I could tie some of the pieces together, and I finished it the night of Sunday, the 29th, 2025. I hope you enjoyed the video. Love you. Bye for now. And I finished this 11/30/2025 Sunday at 10:59/11 p.m. on the dot. So just before the new day of December 1st, and I thought that was cool. And I'm gonna end with this. And I guess I'll talk from the heart for a minute or two. This will probably come out a few days later, maybe 5, maybe 10. I have a lot to video edit in this because I stumble and I say it again, so it sounds better, so it'll take me a while to video edit. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say, and love you all. Bye for now. Till next time.